Here's the deal. Did you ever hear the old adage, when it rains, it pours? Well, have I got a solar magnetic storm of psychtronic proportions for users. So welcome back. Here I am. Thank goodness. To the return to the Perfumed Gardens with your hippy-dippy weatherman, to coin a phrase, Rik Strange. The schoolhouse of psychotic rock and roll is back in session. Class, pay attention. Let's just wait for 1 second here. Let's do a little catsup and mustard about whereabouts I've been for a while. Well, I did put out there that I was going to go on a road trip, and I did. I spent 2 weeks with my mother unit. You know, she's doing okay. 97 for Earth years, ain't bad. And but I did get a little bit of time away to do some crating with my co-pilot Inyo, and we didn't get to go to our normal haunt, but he took me to this other place, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, and I got some things to show you. But there's a little bit of bad news too, and that was on my way back when I jumped into the teleporter from planet Zig to come back here to Earth after we did our crating. Some kind of earth bug jumped into it with me, and guess what? Well, it's called COVID. Ugh! I don't know how you earthlings can put up with that one. That one's a tough one. That one took the stuffing right out of the old captain. Woohoo! And if that wasn't enough, ha-ha! I gave a dose of it to Miss Nancy too. Whoa! So, but, you know, I'm better and doing as good as I'm ever going to get. Mentally and maybe physically, I don't know. But Miss Nancy's on the mend, so whew, that's all good news. Well, now that we got that out of the way, on with the show, as they say. I'm going to talk about my first find, and it's a 3 LP live set. It's a recording of Pink Floyd at the Winterland in San Francisco in on April 29th of 1970. I'm going to show you. It's 3 separate records. Let me get a shot of that one. You know, what it's got mainly is the first 2 albums. Actually, a little bit of the first 3 albums, because they do Cymbeline on this one, but they do stuff off of Umaguma there also. This one, and this is all from the same night. This one's got Green is the Color. I love that tune. You know, that's a right tune. And then the third one is side 1 is Saucer Full of Secrets, which is a 15-minute extravaganza, and then the closer is Interstellar Overdrive, and that one's a mind bender. So let's talk a little bit here. And I believe this is a complete concert, I think. Phew, but I gotta tell you, it really unscrewed me, and it unscrewed my head and emptied the contents onto the floor. It's a super, super clean recording. It's a radio recording. And like I say, it's got all the goodies from the first 3 LPs. There's also a tune called The Amazing Pudding, which is what Adam Hart Mother became later on. So it's they're working on that one. And then on top of some spent plutonium-26 rods comes a tune that I spoke of before called Embryo, and it's also known as, and this one was a working project, Echoes. So woo, hit the super bluosity, baby. I'm telling you, gardeners, this one's a good one. Now I'm not gonna sample it because there's 2 reasons. Number 1, Senior Copyright is surely going to block me. Bummer on that. And the other one is, but how do you sample a cut from Pink Floyd doing a 15 or 20-minute tuner? I mean, how you can't do these humanoids justice by doing something like that. So take my word for it. This is a really great 3-record set. It's on a label called Room on Fire, and there's no information on the record. I'm believing it's a European thing, and it's certainly an unofficial bootleg, I'd say. But it's great. It's really great. I recommend a high on this one. It's a number 11 or 12 on the scale of 6. Anyway, buy it if you can find it. I was lucky enough to. So, our next ear filter is a movie soundtrack called Mondo Hollywood. Now, I know I always do movie soundtracks for bumpers, and I love movie soundtracks for bumpers. And I don't like to do soundtracks that have got like a lot of bands playing on there, but this one, this is a celluloid musical mashup, and it has a blender of surf music, rock music, and of course the ever popular psych. It's like a comp LP of mayhem and lunacy that actually, well, it kind of works for me. So here's the standout cut from a band called the Mugwump, yes, Mugwump Establishment. So let's just let the weirdness speak for itself, and I mean weirdness. And the cut is going to, it's the title tune. It's called Mondo Hollywood, City of Dreams. So let's see if this doesn't stamp out a portion of your reality now. I tell you it was going to be out there? What the who the what? Whoa! Let's look at the record. And there's a cover. It's on the Tower label. And there's some of the, I don't know, I'm believing it's the actors and, I don't know, is actress the proper word or just actors?
They're all actors.
They're all actors. We're all actors in this play called life. Anyway, let me tell you, that's some really detached reality, I'd say. But, you know, it's got a strange kind of good groove to it. These cats were a functioning crew who did release 2 or 3 45s. Now, in '67, and that is when this particular movie came out. It's one of those period pieces that I didn't see it. I can't seem to find it anywhere. I'm kind of interested in seeing it. I've got a couple of these that are out there, but I don't have Mondo Hollywood. Anyway, there's not much info on the Mugwump Establishment, but I did find a poster online where they got the billing on a gig in L.A. At the Shriners Hall? I don't know, it doesn't matter. But they were a real band. They weren't a studio conglomeration. Now, some of these bands that are on here are, I'm sure, well, Dave Allen and the Arrows, everybody knows them from doing biker movies. But there's a band on here called God Pan, as in Godpan, like in frying pan. I don't know, but I think those are just studio blow-togethers. Anyway, hey, for $2 at a thrift store, I mean, how can you beat that? You know, I dig it. Of course, I dig a lot of weird stuff. And if you're not out there looking for weird stuff sometimes, then maybe your collection is not el completo. I don't know. Anyway, sneaking through the alley towards daylight next is an LP of lost tunes, tapes, demos from a cat by the name of Alan Lee Brackett. This came out in '67. These songs are from '67 and early '68. What's happening here is a multi-instrumentalist, and he was part of the core group, the Peanut Butter Conspiracy. There was 3 members that were the core. They had jumped in, people came and went in the few years that the Peanut Butter Conspiracy were together, but this guy was for the duration. You know, this album goes from pop psych, sorta, to folk rock, to fuzzed out garage, and full-blown psychedelia. Now this one, toast my biscuits, baby! Add a little gravy while you're. The LP itself is called Peanut Butter Conspiracy Theories. Ooh. And the track we're going to play is called Love's Only Sleeping. Hey, time to wake up and make the donuts, baby!
Baby, I need your loving. Baby, I need your loving. In over and out, all there's nothing behind. And in within a wall, there's no one to be kind. Baby, I'm tired and lonely. Baby, I'm tired and lonely. Tired of the way I live with emptiness around. A lifetime related to decaying underground.
Waka-ka-chowa. Hey, I'm digging this whole experience. Here's the record. Get our cinematographer to dial in. And there he is with a really crappy Polaroid. Of course, they didn't have Polaroids then. This has got a liner with it. Ooh, yeah. I like it when they do that because, of course, you can't get it out, so what's the point of talking about it? But it gives a breakdown of what's going on. He played 99.9% of all the instruments except on one particular tune called Freeways of Love. And guess who plays lead guitar? Glenn Campbell. Oh, talk about LA. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper into this. The label is the outside Outsider. That's the moniker for them people. It's from the UK, and I gotta say that the styles on this record, you know, they all they all converge on some convulsively dreamy level. Anyway, there's a lot to take in here. This record is sort of in the vein of another LA guy, another prodigy from LA, I should say, Fillmore Lincoln. And I have spoken of him some ways back, and he was a heavy-duty producer, and his only solo effort was pretty intense. You have to go back. I don't know what episode it was. It was a ways back, but it was good. If you feel like wasting a Saturday afternoon in the rain with a cup of hot something or cold something, go back. If I get a chance, I'll see if I can find out what episode it was, and we'll dial in. Enough of that. Let's move on with this guy. You know, this record is a real surprise of an LP. You know, it's from right out of nowhere. It's a groovy LP here, gardeners. I'm saying it is. It really goes. These were all tunes that I guess were offered up to the Conspiracy, but they didn't want to do them for one reason or another. But they're all complete pieces. It's not like they're fragments of anything. And it's not that syrupy pop psych, that sunshine stuff, none of that. There's very little of that actually on here. It's mostly him playing, I mean, it goes from, you know, maybe a little bit of acoustic verging on a countryish tune, to, like I say, there's fuzz on here that's happening. There's a lot of good tunes. I like that particular tune. It sort of clicks my wheels. Anyway, or my ink pen, because, you know, you got to click the pen to get the point to come on. Where am I going? I don't know, but I'm here now. So, woohoo! I think. Okay, so my last find for today will blister the paint off the walls of your skull. Oh, I'm telling you, into each life, a little heavy-duty crunch must fall, baby. Even for me. Oh! Our guests have not got, well, our guests on the next platter player have got more punch than the average crunch. These cats came across like grinding the planetary gears in your space rover. Hey, Ridley, you're grinding gears! Oh! The band in question is called, and it's an English band, they're called the Pink Fairies, and they're from London's underground / psych scene of like 70 on up a bit. Now, I've heard of these guys, but I didn't know what I was getting into till the needle dropped and whammo, brain damage, baby! Woo! Let's just get right to the point here. The LP's called Fuzz Freakout, and the convulsive insanity we're going to play is called Do It. So break out the straitjackets and buckle up, buttercup!
Man.
one. These guys have got the musical table manners of Attila the Hun and a free-for-all smorgasbord. Okay, here's the record. We're looking at the record right now. You end up putting the phone down, thank you. And there's the backside of the record, not me. And it's a gatefoldus. This guy right here is Twink. He's the drummer. And we'll talk about that in a minute. There is actually on the inner sleeve, Nancy wants to dial in on that. That's a picture of the band, but there's a really nice breakdown. Excuse me. Whew, I'm losing my vocal cords there, which is not necessarily a bad thing because I got a big, lot of things to say. Anyway, this is on the, I know, I don't usually do this, but ta-da, it looks like a big piece of bubbly gum. Of course, their logo was a flying pig, and this label is, I don't know what this label is. This is an English, this is an English pressing. I gotta put, now, I don't gotta do that. I don't really take good care of myself. Anyway, when we do sell this stuff, it'll be at a discount. Oh, well, that cut on that particular cut was just a demo from 1970. Whew, just a demo? Whew. The other 4 cuts are live, and they're from the BBC radio show called Top Gear, and the 2 preceding that cut on side 1 are from 70, and the 2 on side 2 are from 71, and they do, I have to mention this cut because it's so mind-bending. It's Uncle Henry's Last Freakout. And it's like yeah, really, it's like a 12-minute extravaganza that'll just, woo, it's out there, baby. Talk about proto-punk. Oh, I am now. We had the blue cheering kind of a thing going on. But man, these blasting caps, whoo, they got the goods, man. The guitarist and the bass player, and they had a different drummer, and then they had another guitar player in the band in the beginning from 68 and 69. Mick Farron, I would Google his name. I can't place him right now, but he is somebody that played a particular part in the English scene. They gave him the boot, and they came back. They were over in Sweden and hunkered down in the tulips, and they decided they didn't want him anymore, so they came back to London, and get this, they played on Twink's first LP. And we all know Twink is, that LP that he did was a really out there psych LP. I mean, I play that a lot. And right after he did that, he eventually joined these Iron Pellets for this particular LP. And wow, this LP goes to the brink and back, baby. Loud is the password here. I mean loud. LOUDEDD exclamation, exclamation. This is mega weight on the turntables. Ooh, I'm sweating just thinking about it. Ah, get it if you can. I recommend it. I highly recommend it. I'm not much on the heavy end of things, but this particular record, I didn't know what to expect, and boy, I dropped that needle down, and it was like I flew out of my seat and my pants at the same time in the living room. So, get it. Now, this brings us to our interlude to the background sanity, and it is the greatest hits. Oh, can you believe it? The greatest hits of Tomita! Woohoo! It's a double LP, no gatefold, but I'm playing one now, and there's another one in there in the sleever, and I don't know, what do you say about this guy? I love his take on laid back ambient ear candy. I really do. This stuff is always good to put on, no matter what he's doing. You know, what can I say? That's about it. Okay, so now we get to the end. Whew. And I want to do a boy howdy to Stoner, and hopefully his recovery is progressing. And I hope that you get well soon and start creating. You gotta churn out some happy videos. I'm glad that you're doing something. Your mumbling and your rambling was pretty far out. And like I say, a little bit of stoner is better than not getting any stoned at all. Woo-hoo! So, I wanna throw this out there before we go. And sadly, in our in memoriam that we always do at the show, at the end of the show, if such a thing needs to be done. Today is, you know, there's much to be added to the list of dearly departed. I saw It's a Beautiful Day when they were really flying, baby. I mean, David LaFlame, who has since left the planet, was a talent to be reckoned with, and you know, that violin playing really just changed everything for me, as far as how I looked at that instrument on records. Great loss here. Yeah, that's a bummer. And you know, I never got to see the next gentleman. I never got to witness him, but everything I've heard, wow, Rodriguez. What a character that guy was, man. He was just amazing. I mean, his whole life was just unbelievable. You got to see that, Searching for Sugar Man. If you haven't, you're missing out on a really worthy piece of material about this gentleman. You know, his LPs spoke to me and to millions, I got to say. They spoke volumes of the plight of all discomfort in any shape it would take in all facets of life. Man, it really, sorry to see him have succumbed to the way things are, but yeah, then, well, you know, this is going on. We have also lost a true Americana leader of the group called The Band. You know, Robbie Robertson, whoa. I only saw them once, and it was in 1972. And, you know, after all of that the 60s gave to me musically, seeing them play was a moment to behold. What a tight, organized sound. It was like it was naturally just pouring out of them that night. I can't guarantee every night was like that, but it was so much like The Last Waltz. The band was just humming on all the cylinders. You know, it was really an unreal experience. I really started to move in different directions musically after listening to them. And lastly, the passing of somebody that meant a lot to Nancy and myself, Mr. Pee Wee Herman, also known as Paul Rubens, was, you know, it was pretty hard to deal with. Nancy and I saw him doing a tour in, I believe it was 2019. Is that right? I think it was right around 2019, and he was going around the country in different big cities, obviously. San Francisco had to be a stop. And he was doing an intimate evening with his real self. And he was talking about his alter ego and his career and his movies. And, you know,
And they played Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, and then that's right. They did play Pee-wee's Big Adventures after the sit and talk thing, and it was cool. We were really up close, and it was really something to behold. We always loved his comedy. You know, it's not for everyone. You know, if you liked him, fine. If you didn't, that's fine too. But I'm just putting out there how we felt about him. And he really fit into our lives. You know, we sort of live in Pee-wee's Playhouse. Woo. Yeah. Anyway. So, enough of bad news. farewell to all those heroes who graced Miss Nancy and my life. And it's so cliched, but it is true. All things must pass. So, on a happier note, thanks for stopping by. I still got a bunch of subs. I only had a couple of say goodbye, but hey, I'm still doing good, and I'm getting hits. Oh, you're out there. You like me. Or at least you're inquisitive. Ha! Keep dialing in. Keep the faith. Till the twain shall meet. And it will, at some point or another. I'll visit all of yous, even if it's just on the tube. Remember, we are all one. No, peace to you, and good night, America.